Welcome back to America Right Now. I'm Tom Basili. President-elect Donald Trump creating a unique new agency for his administration. Well, sort of. It's called, I guess, provisionally, the Department of Government Efficiency, headed by ex and Tesla owner Elon Musk and entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy. As Trump notes on Truth Social, their goal will be to, quote, dismantle government bureaucracy, slash excess regulations, cut wasteful expenditures, and restructure federal agencies to be essential to the Save America movement. It's a tall order. So what can this effort legally do, and how could they do it? Let's dive into this with the Director of Research at the Government Accountability Institute and the author of The Controligarchs, Seamus Bruner. Also with us, the president of Americans for Tax Reform, Grover Norquist. Gentlemen, folks have been talking about this for a long time. How do you take on the unelected bureaucracy? Some people call it the deep state. Back during Trump's October rally at New York City's Madison Square Garden, Elon Musk was asked point blank how much wasteful spending he thought there was in the federal government. Watch his response.
How much do you think we can rip out of this wasted $6.5 trillion Harris-Biden budget?
Well, I think we can do at least $2 trillion. Your money is being wasted, and the Department of Government Efficiency is going to fix that. We're going to get the government off your back and out of your pocketbook.
$2 trillion. Grover, over to you first. There have been efforts like this before, but never quite like this, and not with this kind of mandate. It's going to be sort of like this modern-day Manhattan Project. It will exist outside of the federal government and will exist no later than July 4th, 2026. Let's cut right to the chase. How do you get around the public employee unions and actually restructure things to try to save money for the American people?
Well, in fact, the government unions only exist because the president has the ability to say, and to just simply say, this agency is too important to national security, it no longer can be unionized. You could do that for the Defense Department, for TSA, for the IRS, and then there couldn't be a union. This was part of the law that was passed signed by Jimmy Carter when he put in the government unions. So you can actually take the government unions out of a particular department that's important for national security. The other thing is to simply highlight what some of those contracts are, those union contracts. The American people will be rather upset to learn how few hours government workers work, how easy it is for them to keep working, even if they don't show up to the office.
Yeah, I worked in the federal government. I can speak with experience on this. I mean, it is basically a jobs program. Seamus, it is not official. It's like not an official department, this thing that Trump is creating under the president's sort of normal administration. Not going to require any Senate confirmation, but Musk is seeking a high IQ staff, as he says, for his team. So they won't really have any legal authority, but what could some of the first recommendations be here for President Trump?
Yeah, that's right. They won't have authority in and of themselves, but they can make smart decisions. And so Elon and Vivek are the perfect people to run this. Elon famously slashed Twitter's workforce to the bone, and it's better than ever and more profitable than ever. So he's the right guy to be thinking of creative ways. And Vivek recently tweeted that this isn't just about policy preferences. This is a legal mandate from the Supreme Court. And he's right. This shows that he's got his eye on the ball here recently. So you're right, Tom. It's been a long time that people have been trying to cut the government. But just recently, the Supreme Court obliterated the Chevron doctrine.
Yep.
So for 40 years, agencies have been making up out of thin air rules and powers for themselves. And that all ended about eight months ago. So the time is right to start first removing the rules, removing the rulemaking authority from this bloated bureaucracy, and then you can remove the people.
Yeah. Grover, what kind of legal challenges could we see here, do you think?
Well, the good news is with the House and the Senate, you won't be having the Congress undermining efforts. That's what happened to Reagan when the Grace Commission, very similar to what Elon Musk will be organizing. The Grace Commission reported in 1984, after almost 4 years, this is going to move much quicker than the Grace Commission did, and will have the enthusiastic support of the House and the Senate, as well as the presidency. So, yes, they will sue, but as just mentioned, the courts have moved to the point saying, look, There is no bureaucracy in the Constitution. There's Congress,
That's
there's
right.
the presidency, there's the Supreme Court. There isn't the bureaucracy. Who came up with that, and what power is it supposed to have?
Yeah. Well, Seamus, we saw the establishment press, the establishment media just go bonkers again over this. Let's watch a little bit of the reaction this week.
Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk being offered jobs in a fantasy football league.
A non-existent department, right?
Of the Department of Government Efficiency. Nothing has been more Orwellian in title.
If you want to change the structure of the Department of Education, the Department of the Interior, you have to go through all these steps. And like it or not, these two entrepreneurs are going to have to start learning that and following it, and it's going to drive them crazy.
But Seamus, and real quick for me, don't they need to come up with a recommendation that then and just get an act of Congress to consolidate or eliminate some of these agencies? I mean, isn't it really, if you have the political will, that simple?
Well, and it sounds simple, but there are so many laws and so many regulations that have ascribed power to these agencies. It is going to be a tall order you can't just whole cloth repeal everything. Now, there are ways you can, repealing some of the laws, but it is going to be a legal fight. And it's got to start now, and it's got to move quickly, because we're going to be on the midterms soon. And it's going to be a very controversial thing, removing mass layoffs in the federal agencies. And that is why the establishment media is panicking, because this has become a fourth branch of government that is, the resistance, and they're going to be resisting this. And so the legislative fixes and the repealings they need to start immediately before the midterms are on everyone's minds.
Grover Norquist, Seamus Bruner, we're going to be talking about this a lot. Thank you so much for your insights as we start this process here.